Hey everyone, welcome back to the Uptime. I'm your host, Jemiah Sias, and I got a bunch of new Relic insights to share with you today, along with some cute cat pictures. For the third year running, New Relic has published its State of the Java Ecosystem report. This isn't your usual clickbaity white paper, chock full of scolding hot but technically dubious hot takes. Instead, we've used the data we see as a part of our observability platform, anonymized and summarized, of course, because we're not stupid, to find trends and insights based on actual usage. And almost 50% of the applications are now using Java 11, followed by Java 8. That's more than 45% of the traffic we see is on a version of Java that came out in 2014. Come on, people. I know they call it a long-term release, but I still think it's reasonable to expect that you upgrade more often than the Winter Olympics. If you're still on Java 8, the last time that you've upgraded, Happy was still at the top of the charts, Age of Ultron hadn't come out yet, and people were still dressing like this. I still dress like that, just so you know. More than 70% of Java application traffic we see is running in a container, and this should be a surprise to exactly nobody. Of course, there's a lot more insight to find in the report, and it's all based on real data, not pretend thought leadership. You can find a link to it in the show notes. In our last episode, I talked a lot about Feature Stack and still didn't have enough time to cover everything. Hey, it was a really big event. And one of the announcements that I didn't mention was New Relic's partnership with Platzi, one of the largest tech education platforms serving Spanish and Portuguese students around the world. Now, all of the students at Platzi are eligible to access the New Relic Student Edition, and New Relic has sponsored an additional 5,000 learners to join Platzi and start their engineering journeys. By expanding our New Relic student program, we're giving students access to the world's only observability platform, learning resources, and production-level applications while they learn how important observability is to their software development lifecycle. And speaking as someone that learned software development without a CS degree, who taught myself how to code while folks later taught me that HTML isn't code, I'm incredibly excited and humbled to be a part of these students' learning journey and their IT careers. You know the song Log from Ren and Stimpy? Yeah, my legal team won't let us use it either, which is too bad because I got a lot of news on our logging updates for you. And some of you may have already noticed that we've made it easier for you to access your log data alongside your APM metrics. We're calling that logs in context. But what about the parts of a log data that you don't want? In fact, you don't want anyone to ever see. We already mass out things like credit card info and social security numbers, but this still leaves a lot of potential risky data to be exposed. And our new logs obfuscation feature lets you use regular expressions to identify other data patterns and formats and automatically mask those out too. And honestly, there's even more to tell you when it comes to logging, but our partner show, The Changelog, has recorded an entire new episode on logs, and it's not that long. So check it out using the link in the show notes. I'm not gonna do another 60-second on the clock deal like the last episode, but there's a lot happening around here. New Relic is now SAP certified, and we've released a shiny new integration to celebrate that occasion. It leverages existing SAP data sources without requiring you to install something on each monitored SAP server, but provides a common view across all systems and combined telemetry for your SAP and non-SAP environment. Nurkle's not the name of my new cat, although it probably should be. It stands for New Relic Query Language, and it lets you do truly amazing things with your data, but until now, you could only run a single query statement. But now that Nurkle supports subqueries, these nested queries can run before your main query and allow you to optimize your data manipulation, dashboards, and alerts, giving you even more power to Nurkle while you workle. Like so many of our new features and capabilities, support for both SAP and subqueries came from requests from users just like you. And if you use New Relic for any length of time, you know it's pretty easy to tell us what you think and request new capabilities and more. What hasn't been easy is knowing if you're the first person to notice a particular issue. But now with issues.newrelic.com, it's a new portal that continues and expands our goal of being responsive and transparent. You can not only request a new fix or feature, but you'll be able to see if it's already been requested and upvoted. So if you had a New Relic feature on your wish list for a while, now's the time to head over to issues.newrelic.com and get it logged, and maybe upvote a few others while you're there. And that's all we have for you this month. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of The Uptime. Please remember to like and subscribe so I can keep buying food for my cats.